Today we will be working on finding volume. So volume is the number of cubic units that are needed to fill a solid figure. So I kind of usually think of volume as what would go inside of a container. So how much a container can hold is its volume. So today we're going to be looking at how to find volume. And the mathematical equation for finding volume is length times width times height. So when we're looking at our shapes, we're going to look at the length of our object, the width of our object, and the height. Then we're going to take those three numbers and multiply them together to find volume. All right, so let's go ahead and try to find the volume of this first shape. So you can see down below I have the length, the width, and the height labeled for us to find. So if I'm looking at the length, these are just cubic units. So I can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the length of it is 5 cubic units. The width is about how far back it sits. So there is 1, 2, 3. So the width is 3. And the height is how tall is it? 1, 2, 3. And so the height of this object is 3 units high. So the length is 5 square units, the width is 3 square units, and the height is 3 square units. So then the next thing we need to do is we need to multiply. So first I start and I just pick two of the numbers to multiply. So I'm going to do the 5 and the 3 first. So first I need to do 5 times 3. Well, I can do 5 times 3 in my head. I know that 5 times 3 is 15. The next thing I need to do is I take that 15 and I need to multiply it by my final number, which is 3. So now I'm going to do 15 times 3. So doing our multiplication, we know first we do 5 times 3, which is 15. 3 times 1 is 3, times plus 1 is 4. So the volume of this rectangular prism is 45 square units. So my volume is 45. All right, let's go ahead and try to find volume on this shape. And so this is actually a cube because it has all the sides are equal. So first we're going to go and we're going to see how long it is, the length of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my length is 4 square units. The width is how far back does it sit, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 square units again. And the height, how tall is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the height is 4 square units again. And that's how we know it's a cube, because all the sides are equal. The length, the width, and the height are all the same. So now when we're finding volume, remember we need to do the length. Oh, that's not a very good L. Let me redo that. The length times the width times the height. Okay, so first I'm going to do length times width. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 4. So I know 4 times 4, that's when I can do in my head, is 16. So now I need to multiply 16 by our last number, which is a 4. So I'm going to do 16 times 4. So first I need to multiply 6 times 4 is 24. I put my 2 up top, my 4 down below. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So my volume is 64 square units. Actually, I wrote that wrong. It should be 64 units squared. So I could either write square and then put the word units, or you can do units squared. So it's 64 units squared. That is my volume. All right, we are going to do one more shape together, and then I have some that you're going to do by yourself on the piece of paper. So looking at this shape, the first thing we need to do is identify the length. How far across does it go? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The length is 5 units. The width, how far back does it go? 1, 2, 3. My width is 3 square units. Height, how tall is it? 1, 2. So it is 2 units high. So I have a length of 5 units, a width of 3, and a height of 2. So when you're finding volume, remember you need to do length times width times height. So we're going to multiply all 3 of those. So first I'm going to start out and I'm going to do 5 times 3. So I know 5 times 3, that's a multiplication problem I can do in my head, is 15. So I'm going to take that 15 and now I need to multiply it by my remaining number, which is my height. Then I do 15 times 2. So now I can multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. I carry my 1, bring down my 0. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So my volume is 30 units squared, or 30 square units. And that is the volume of this rectangular prism. Now I would like you to solve these problems on your own, and you're going to show your work on the paper that's in front of you. So this is problem number 1. So in the box of problem number 1, you're going to show your work. So first you're going to need to figure out the length. So the length, 1, 2, 3, is 3. The width is 1, 2. So the width is 2, and the height is 3. 1, 2, 3. So the height is 3. So now that you have those 3 numbers, remember you need to multiply length times width times height. So go ahead and pause the video and multiply those 3 numbers, and then once you're done solving, unpause the video to check your work. All right, so you should have completed this problem. You should have paused the video while you were working. So let's go ahead and let's check your work. So we needed to do 3 times 2 first, because I'm multiplying the length and width first. 3 times 2 equals 6. Then I need to multiply 6 times the remaining number. So now I know that 6 times 3 is 18. So you should have 18 units squared. Should have been your answer. Please work through problem number 2. Pause the video while you are working through it, and then unpause the video to check your work. All right, and the length should have been 4, the width was 2, the height was 5, and you would multiply length times width times height, you would have gotten 40. This is problem number 3. Find the volume for this figure. Pause the video while you are doing your work, and then unpause it to check your work. The length was 4, the width was 2, the height is 2, 4 times 2 is 8, then 8 times 2 is 16, so you should have had 16 square units. All right, problem number 4. Find the volume of this shape. While you're doing your work, pause the video. When you are done, unpause the video to check your work. The length was 4, the width was 5, the height was 3, 4 times 5 is 20, then 20 times 3 is 60. So your answer for number 4 should have been 60 units squared. Problem number 5. Find the volume for this rectangular prism. Pause the video while you do your work, and then unpause the video to check your work. All right, to check our work, the length was 5, the width was 2, the height was 3. So 5 times 2 is 10, 10 times 3 is 30, and then the volume of this figure is 30 units squared. Problem number 6, you need to find the volume of this rectangular prism. After you have solved it, check the video to check your work. The length was 2, the width was 3, the height was 2. 2 times 3 is 6, then 6 times 2 is 12, so your volume is 12 units squared. Problem number 7, find the volume of this rectangular prism. As you are working, pause the video, and then unpause the video to check your work. All right, let's check our work for problem number 7. The length was 2, the width was 4, the height was 3. So 2 times 4 is 8, and then 8 times 3 is 24. So you should have gotten 24 units squared. All right, to find volume for this shape, you should have multiplied 3 times 2 times 5, and you would have gotten 30 units squared. Problem number 9, find the volume of this rectangular prism. Pause the video while you're working, and then unpause it to check your work. All right, and to check your work, you should have multiplied 2 times 3, which is 6, and then 6 times 3, which is 18. So 18 units squared is the volume of this shape. Number 10, find the volume of this rectangular prism. Pause the video as you work, and then we will check your work when you are done. All right, the length of this was 3, the width was 4, the height was 5. So 3 times 4 is 12, and then we do 12 times 5, and we get 60. So 60 units squared. And our last problem today, find the volume of this rectangular prism. The length is 3, the width is 2, the height is 4. So 3 times 2 is 6, then 6 times 4 is 24. So the volume is 24 units squared. Now that you have completed this assignment, please make sure your name is on your paper and turn it in onto my desk. Make sure your name is on it and that I can see your work for each problem. Nice job today.